Grand Rising. I'm on my morning mental this morning. A couple of thoughts popped into my head soon as I opened my eyes. Tell them this right here. It's like the morning after. Love affair is over. Truth sets in. The reality of the situation sets in. We tend to come to our senses, and all of a sudden we wonder, who is this person lying next to you? Who is this person that you allowed to get so deep into your life or your soul that now you're trying to figure out, what have I done? Last night. Let's talk about last night. Last night, we broke up with a few people. Oh, last night, a few people found out. Somebody said, we ain't got no sound. Hold on a second. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up, because otherwise I'm going to have to leave and come back. If you can hear me, please show me a thumbs up, please. I'll wait. So, Alicia, that means that everybody can hear me. If you cannot hear me, or if somebody let them know, just log out and log back in and connect, and you'll be able to hear me. Everybody else can hear me. So it's not us, it's you, my friend. Grand Rising to all of you. A surprise morning mental. Because this is the morning after. This is the morning after I shattered some people's theology last night to the point where they took the video down. That's how truthful and how painful it was. It's gone now. It is gone. But we have the original recording, and it will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. If you were with me last night, it was a bloody mess. It was a hot mess. There was crying, and there was gnashing of teeth, and there were those who suddenly questioned everything that we taught. Because the truth sometimes is more painful than the comfortability of the lie. And we rather stay in the lie. Now, y'all know they took down part 2 last night, and then we put it back. Now they've taken down part 1 and given me a note that says that it is hate speech. Hate speech, because I simply showed you the facts. So we got a different group this morning. I don't expect half the people that we had last night to come back, because when I tell you that you are under the influence of the slave master, and that the slave master is not just in the United States, it is so hard for you all to finally come to the realization, well, he talking about me. So you had to go. Oh, minds was blowed last night. But to those of you all who are the faithful, to those of you all who still are the chosen, those of you all who through it all have realized that we are the elect, who cannot identify with what you're hearing because I won't fit into a box that you made. I've searched the scriptures. I've searched from Genesis to Revelation. I've looked at the Apocrypha. I've looked at the books that are not even canonized. I've looked at the ancient texts. I've looked at them in Aramaic, Hebrew, and Greek. I've done my homework. I've shown myself studied and approved as it is written. And nowhere in there do I find the names of these groups that have created themselves. And then I see those of you all who refuse to believe the truth, even when it's proven to you, and even when you're told, go research it for yourself. It's all right. I'm just on my morning mental this morning. I know that there are those of you that welcome the sound of a voice that kisses your soul in the morning and says, welcome back. We missed you. Come on and hang out with us for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm back in your ear this morning as you go about your day. I remember Killmonger's last words in the movie Black Panther. He said, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Crazy part about it is you're beautiful. Yes, you are. We're beautiful people. I just had to fall in love with y'all all over again. You ever done that? You ever fell in love with somebody all over again? See, only those of us who've been in long-term relationships know that feeling. You see, you short-term folks don't know that. You can be in love with somebody and everything can be great, but then you hit the ups and downs of life. And then that episode is over and you realize it's still just y'all. And all of a sudden, all of the things that were negative are gone and the issue is resolved and you're looking at them and then you remember why you loved them in the first place and you fall in love all over again. There's nothing more frustrating to people who don't understand when you see a couple that's been together 10, 15, 20, 30 years and they all in love all over again. And you just sitting there like, look at them all in love. Because you've never been there. I fall in love again with my people. I do. Because no matter what happens, sooner or later I step back and I say, look at my people. I love these people. They're beautiful. Don't nobody want to tell y'all that. They want y'all to think that we're not beautiful, that we're not intelligent, that we're none of those things that would make. But the world has a love affair with us too. But they have a love-hate relationship with us. You know what I'm saying? The world treats black people like the young lady that bros want to act like they don't like, but they really in love with them. So they always dissing whatever they do, but they copying what they do. They always trying to tell us that we never did nothing, but they doing what we did. They always try to tell us that everything negative that's wrong with our world is our own fault when they're the cause of it. You see, a person who has a love-hate relationship with you loves you to death. They're probably your biggest fans, but they don't know how to manage it. So I have to fall in love with y'all all over again. Even when I try to tell you the truth and give you tough love and you throw your hands in the air and now all of a sudden you pouting and you mad and you in the corner. I don't want to talk right now. I still love you. Don't worry about it. It's going to be all right. That was last night. It was serious bloodletting in here last night. And we lost a lot of people. I can look at the numbers and tell you about that because I went after your throat and showed you that they got a rope around your throat and chains on your mind and they have invaded your heart and you too are walking in a false sense of security by what you think you believe. It says in the scriptures that a messenger would be raised from amongst the people and that it will be someone who's always been with you. It will be someone that has to awaken, like y'all claim y'all awake. It says that this person will not be a part of the regular crew of teachers that you're used to. This person will come completely from the blind side. This person is simply a messenger. That's it. It also says that you would reject the messenger. It said that you would ridicule the messenger. It said that you would do all these things because you rather shoot the messenger than listen to the message. You would rather try to fit the message into your little toy box when it's too big. You trying to sneak it out the doorway when you're on camera. It doesn't work that way. For all of you all who claim to be learned, so learned, you're acting exactly like those that it talks about who would act like they were unlearned. So, lost a lot of people last night. A lot of people, but I bid them well. And as we say, may there be peace between us while we're apart. That means I don't muck with you, you don't muck with me, and you do your thing and I'll do my thing and we're going to be all right. Still got love for you. My morning mental this morning is, used to be an old song long time ago. Y'all remember this song? If you're too young to remember this song, I'm about to give you some hip hop. But it used to be a song not too long ago. Y'all remember this song. And I know y'all not going to like this title, but I have to put this title on it because if I don't, you won't get what I'm trying to tell you this morning on the morning mental. Ladies, please don't be offended. We're not talking about you. People who tend to think that this is something to glorify, don't do that either. But the title this morning on my morning mental is, bitch better have my money. Oh, bitch better have my money. We're not talking about no pimp line, because the bitch that I'm talking about are the bitches that enslaved us. The bitch that better have my money are the ones that are still profiting off of what they did to us. When I say bitch better have my money, I'm talking about everybody who owes us, not just a few people. It was Martin Luther King that said silence is betrayal. But today, bitch better have my money. Let me tell you why. Let's get into this, y'all. If you haven't been keeping up with what's going on with the goings on, you know, the late, great Johnny Cochran, who a lot of people only remember for winning the O.J. Simpson trial. And then, you know, that was he was a smooth brother, Johnny was, rest in peace. But a lot of you all are not familiar that Johnny, right before he passed, unexpectedly, that he was working on legislation and working on a package that would have gotten us reparations. Oh, but then Johnny died. And nobody picked up the mantle to pursue it anymore. This was in the United States. And then people started pointing out, well, what's the problem? Why can't we get reparations? Okay, why? And they say, well, we don't know how to do it. We can't figure out who it was. It's too complicated at this point. That's what they used to tell us. And then things started to change, and all of a sudden we found out, excuse me, that we have other people that reparations are working out for just fine. Yeah. But then we did a little digging even deeper, and we found out that, well, you can't pay reparations to a color. You have to pay reparations to the members of a country. I go, oh, so we learned that we're not considered a separate entity. We're not considered a country. We're considered a color. Well, a color is just a designation. It doesn't mean that we're repatriating a country. We're not paying reparations to a country. We don't even acknowledge which country it is that we need to be repatriating. So what are y'all talking about? In other words, they told us in so many words, get your act together. Come back and try it again. Stop pointing out what other people are doing when you ain't got your act together. Bitch better have my money. So we went back into our cubby holes and did some more research. We started really digging into this whole Who owe us money and for what reason? I'm on my morning mental this morning. She better have my money. And so now today we find ourselves witnessing this almost laughable gesture by a piece of a gigantic machine that's supposed to nullify your anger, that's supposed to calm the folks down. And as usual, we have some clowns on the scene who think that they're going to get clout and credit for doing something as if no one ever else tried to do it, which they did. They did. J Morris 217, happy birthday to you. I saw that slide by. But y'all know we gonna stay focused on the morning mental. Bitch better have my money. And not only bitch better have my money, who got my money? See, before you can say who owe you money, you got to figure out who owes you money. I just got one small problem. Let me dig into this. So by now you all have heard or seen the news articles or the release that Lloyd's of London is feeling sorry for themselves because of what they did and how they participated in the Portuguese slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade. They're an insurance company. They insure, that if something happens to something of yours, that you can get paid back like you got car insurance. You better have, I know a lot of y'all riding dirty, but that's cool. But if you're not riding dirty, you pay an insurance in case something screws up and you get compensated for. That's why when people have an accident, the first thing they say is cut the check. And people get straight. Lloyd's of London is a UK-based company that insures all kind of things that they put value on. I'm on my morning mental. The sun is shining beautifully this morning. Grand rising to you. Come on in. Sit down if you still survived last night. If you didn't, don't worry. We're going to miss them. But Lloyd's of London has said that, well, now we feel sorry because everybody's looking. Businesses are threatened. People are losing money. People are losing their businesses because the people have suddenly decided that, listen, we're not having that no more. But these gestures that they're giving us are now driving right up to the door of who got my goddamn money? You see, the real solution to a lot of our problems as a people is not an apology. Yeah, we'll take the apology, but I can't buy land with an apology. A lot of them know that the symbols that show how they got rich off of us and the attitude that they had along the way, well, they want to erase those now because they don't want to keep reminding you of what they did to you. So, okay, that's cool. We don't want to be reminded either, but we can't buy land with a statue or we can't buy land with a flag. And so, yeah, that's cool, but you still haven't dealt with the pink elephant in the room. Where's my money? So now we got this company, Lloyd's of London, that says that they're sorry for what they've done, but you need to understand the complexities of the Portuguese slave trade and how the Europeans joined into it. It was already ongoing. See, y'all get upset when I talk about the fact that it was white people, yes, white people, that enslaved us for 246 years in the States. But they never talk about the 400 years of slave trading that went on, not at the hands of the white people, but at the hands of the Portuguese and the Arabs, which enslaved us for 14 centuries. Nobody talks about that. And I don't hear any Arabs talking about giving us any money back. Matter of fact, they act like they haven't done anything to us. You don't hear the people of Portugal lamenting over how sad they are about what they did to us for all these centuries. Matter of fact, they act like they haven't done none either. But I'm on my morning mental this morning, and I'm going to point the finger at another group that's trying to sneak under the radar. See, don't let these people fool you with their gestures. Look at what they're saying. You got two companies, Green, which is a beverage maker, and Lloyd's of London, and they think that the way to atone for what they've done, listen to this, is to give jobs to us in their company. They think that donating some money to a group of organizations that say they stand for our rights is the appropriate. They're not talking about giving money to the descendants of the people. As a matter of fact, most of y'all don't even know this, but when they abolished the practice of slavery in the UK somewhere around 1880, excuse me, 1883? Y'all help me out. I got to go and research the year. They paid money to the slave owners for their loss. They didn't give a dime to the slaves. So I find it ironic that now that we come in and they want to act like they feeling so much remorse, that rather than saying those people who can prove their heritage, since we talk about heritage so much, who can actually, who've documented, who can still talk to the old people in their families to say, look, I am a descendant of slavery. My great great grandmother is still alive to tell the story. And we got little black and white pictures, and I can show you proof of paperwork, and we can go and research see, y'all act like they didn't keep records of the people that they bought and sold. Because remember, we were property. People quick to say, you got a receipt for that? Well, yeah, I got a receipt for this person that I own, but they want to give you a job and then throw some money at some front organization like BLM talked about we support. No. Last time I checked, I didn't see BLM in the community with a free lunch program. I didn't see BLM in the community with a community policing program. I didn't see BLM in the community with a real estate reestablishment program. I didn't see BLM doing any of these things. So why are you giving money to them? You have records of the families of the people that you insured. So why don't you do your research and pay those people directly? But don't let that get by you. Come here. Yes, come here, all you American corporations. You thought you was going to get off the hook. See, the people that y'all should be paying attention to are the ones that ain't saying nothing. The ones who are very, very quiet. Those are the people you should be paying attention to right here in the United States, because those are the ones who know that if they were to pay us what they owed us, many of them will go out of business. A lot of the people that you do business with today, if you do your research on those corporations, you will find out that not only were they complicit in the slave trade, they were also complicit in the Nazi Holocaust. A lot of the uniforms that the Nazis wear, the tanks that they had, the fuel that went into those tanks, the design of the gas chambers. Do your research. American companies built all of that stuff. As a matter of fact, it was an American author who wrote the book Propaganda that showed you how to influence groupthink to turn an entire society against someone else. If you go and you look, you'll find out that was written by an American too and read by Adolf Hitler. So when you start talking about feeling sorry for yourself, when you start talking about paying people some money back, when you start talking about who you owe, I need y'all to take a look over here in the United States, because to all of the companies that grew and profited, including schooling institutions of higher learning, all of you all, I only got one thing to say to you. Bitch, you better have my money. Now, I know there's some of y'all that this rubbed you the wrong way this morning. I'm on my morning mental. But I want black people to stop and really think that some of the companies that you do business with every day, who have cleaned up their image, they used to be, and a lot of them came into existence. Don't y'all realize that if you were the most valuable commodity that the United States owned, that you were worth more than all of their manufacturing? That means every business in the United States grew out of the slave trade. Here's how I can prove it to you. Let's get it in. Think about it. For 250 years, those businesses didn't exist. They didn't have to. The American dream, which you cannot be a part of. Thank you, Claude Anderson. Shout out. The reason being is because you were the American dream. When Europe started letting folks come on over to the new country, because remember they call themselves the old country. You see, they couldn't enslave you in the old country. You see, there was still a way for other factions to get at Europe and cause war. So they conquered and called this the new country. The dream was that you could come over here, get free land, free labor, and you make all the profit. And you sit on your ass and do nothing but act like you're superior. That was the American dream. You can't be a part of the dream. You were the dream. You understand what I'm saying? That's why if you never noticed, you never see businesses. They never say no shit like Johnson's been around since 1619. You're like, well, what company was functioning in the face of the American dream? Pay attention the next time you see one of those commercials where they're talking about, we've been in this for, we're such and such and such. When you need such and such, call us. Been around since 1869, right after slavery ended. You see, what a lot of people don't realize was that when slavery ended, we were the ones who still did all the work. If you had to call a plumber or an electrician, you had to call the black folks. These good white folks figured out we got to learn how to do this shit on our own because we're making the black folks rich. You see, black folks was doing what they was doing. We were spending in our own communities because we weren't welcome anywhere. But we also were getting called over to the white community to do work to make money off of them. And we was bringing that money back and empowering our own communities. That's why they got rid of Black Wall Street. That's why they burned down Rosewood. That's why Anthony, Texas is gone. It wasn't just because of the hatred of black people. It was because we were becoming prosperous. Because we were doing what we always did. And now everything that we used to do, they had to do. So they had to start their own businesses. And then who do you think they turned into their biggest customers? They destroyed your shit so that you would have to come to them. And it's been that way ever since. Bitch better have my money. Because now we're in a season today where just because the people who insured the cargo, y'all want to be all on their necks, but the people who profited from the cargo, the people who started businesses that they hand down to their own family members, those are the ones that got your money, okay? I think it was the late, great ODB that said, hey, where my money at? So we find ourselves in this morning. I'm on my morning mental because I woke up this morning disturbed that I saw this story about Lloyd's of London wants to offer jobs to us as atonement. And they want to donate money, but not to the people that they should. Lloyd's of London, as meticulous as you are, you have records. If you really want to help us out, why don't you let us examine those records ourselves so we can see where everybody went and where they came from? See, y'all think that they don't know who we are? Y'all think that they don't know where we came from? I can even elevate it even higher. If y'all want to find out what happened to the lost tribes, they know. Lloyd's of London knows. But yet they want to stem this because they trying to stay in business. But what about all the businesses over here? What about the same companies that manufactured Zyklon B are still in business? Y'all do business with them. The same company that made uniforms for the Nazis is still in business. Y'all do business with them. A lot of the chemical companies that like DuPont and so forth, they still in business. Because a lot of y'all don't seem to understand the wars that have been fought have not been about people's rights and their freedoms. It's always been about the money. And now that the issue has come up about who needs to pay up, I'm not saying that folks in Lloyd's and all those European countries shouldn't do what they should do. It's like they're all apologizing now. But you haven't heard an apology from the Queen yet. In America, yeah, there are some companies that are running commercials that are saying, oh, you know, we're going to do more and bullshit on top of more bullshit. We're not buying the bullshit because y'all see we've armed ourselves and we're ready to defend ourselves. Y'all really scared about that. So now y'all coming in saying, yo, we're sorry, but we haven't heard an apology officially from the U.S. government yet, backed by some action. So remember, y'all, silence is betrayal. And it looks to me like everybody is still in their feelings. Black folks in their feelings, white folks in their feelings, red man in his feelings, everybody in their feelings. Nobody want to deal with the facts. So I just thought I'd put that on your mind as you go through your day. Every place that you go into, because you just want to keep giving your money to people, you think about, matter of fact, I'm not going to tell you, just any place you go into today that is an established business, just write down their name and then go and research who they are, where they came from. And if you can't go back any further than 1865, then you're looking at something that was built on the back of slavery. When you talk about why my kids can't get into these Ivy League schools, those schools held slaves. When you look at a lot of these institutions that try to tell you how to live your life, they were built on the institution of slavery. I think that I would have to agree with Acapella when she said that they know that if they apologize, that means they're admitting their guilt and they have to pay up. Oh yeah, we agree with you on that, sister. But, you know, I simply have to say, Simply Flawless, like I have to let them know that we want the apology too, and we're going to get it one way or the other. But at the same time, we need to get our money. Bitch better have my money. So while y'all paying attention to this story that's unfolding in the UK, remember the United States was supposed to be in rebellion against the UK. It was supposed to be in rebellion to the British Crown. And it's really some gangster shit. You see, what was going on was the UK was telling the brand new US, bitch, you better have my money. And the US didn't want to do that. They, nah, we want to keep all this to ourselves. Can I teach in here? And they finally had to work it out. And what y'all don't realize is they've come to a place where they are splitting the profits now. They stopped fighting. It's enough. They say it's enough to go around. We've enslaved them long enough. They always want to celebrate when a black person reaches the status of a billionaire, but they don't blow the horn when one of them becomes a billionaire. They never do that. You never see that. You just surprised to find out so and so is a billionaire, but you never wonder how they got their money. All these career politicians that have entrenched themselves in what you call the U.S. government for life, basically putting themselves in a position where they can control law, which means they can never have to answer for what they or their ancestors did. Can I teach in here this morning on the morning mental? Because at some point we have to say collectively, bitch better have my money. Now, I would suggest to these companies that are watching my videos, because I know you are, I've seen it. I would recommend that y'all start putting y'all heads together and come up with a plan by examining the paperwork that you still have, that you figure out how and what you're going to pay to us, because the bitch better have my money is about to go both ways real soon. Y'all didn't think you could really get away with this. So please, people, don't fall for the okie doke. Don't be like, yay, they're taking the statues down and they're getting rid of the flags. Yay, you dumb fuck. No. Because it's pointing fingers. They're erasing the evidence of what they've done. And then they're trying to be kumbaya, what you talking about. We'll throw you some change. We'll work with your organizations. I hate to be the one to break the news to you. We don't have an organization as of yet that represents the collective consciousness of black people as a whole. We don't have an organization yet that has taken the consensus of what we all think and feel and have put that together on a platform that can be addressed. We don't have that organization yet that has taken a consensus electronically of only black people to determine if and where we should go. We don't have that yet. So how can you be giving money to people who claim to do such, but don't have the fruits to show that they've actually done it? Once that exists, then you can tell us who you're going to pay that money to, especially if it's a figurehead or a figure organization that represents the interests of all of us, not just in America, but globally. You see, you did not just enslave black people in America, you enslaved black people globally. And every company that was a part of the Portuguese slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade, and every company that has grown since then, it's time to pay up. Because at the end of the day, no matter how you cut it, I don't want to hear about nobody trying to do this for fame or clout. I want us to start thinking of ways to figure this out. Because, and this is how I'm going to wrap up my morning mental, ain't a damn thing funny to the black people. Bitch, you better have my money. And I'm out this piece. Hoodoo.